Welcome, my awesome friends. It's good to see you again. Now on to the story. In the aftermath of their triumph over the monstrous creature, Daryl and his crew found themselves hailed as heroes. Their names were whispered throughout the villages, their deeds recounted in tales of bravery and determination. But even as they basked in the glow of their victory, they knew that their battle was far from over. The corrupted overseers still lurked in the shadows, their machinations unseen but ever present. Driven by a sense of duty, Daryl and his companions resolved to continue their mission to dismantle the Dome regime. They knew that the fate of their world hung in the balance, and they were determined to do everything in their power to tip the scales in favor of freedom. As they journeyed from village to village, they rallied support for their cause. They spoke of the need for unity in the face of oppression, and they urged others to join their fight for a better future. Their words resonated with those who had suffered under the yoke of the Dome. People from all walks of life came forward to offer their assistance, providing them with food, shelter, and information. With each passing day, the ranks of the resistance grew stronger. Daryl and his companions knew that they were not alone in their struggle, and they drew strength from the unwavering support of the people. But the overseers were not idle. They unleashed a wave of propaganda, painting Daryl and his companions as dangerous radicals who sought to create nothing but chaos and destruction. They used their vast resources to sow seeds of doubt and mistrust among the populace. Despite the overseers' efforts, the resistance continued to grow. The people were tired of living in fear, and they were ready to fight for their freedom. As the conflict escalated, Daryl and his companions found themselves facing increasingly difficult challenges. They were ambushed by overseer loyalists, their movements tracked by spies and their supplies sabotaged. Just when they thought things were bad enough, they were faced with a truly horrifying sight: a Uni Dragon. The only one-eyed dragon known in existence. It was known to be the most ruthless dragon to have ever existed. Alara frighteningly says, "What in the heck? I thought the Uni Dragon was just a myth." "Me too, but apparently not," Daryl replied. Daryl, the leader of the humans, Alara the archer, Jackson the crazy but very well-trained ex-military vet, Nara the healer and their builder of the best defensive gadgets, the nerdy inventor Kai, the most loyal and strongest of the group, teamed up once more to try and take on this horrendous creature called the Uni Dragon. With their adrenaline surging, Daryl and his companions stared in awe and fear at the monstrous Uni Dragon before them. Its single fiery eye pierced through the darkness, its scales gleaming in the moonlight. The legends were true. This creature was more formidable than anything they had ever faced. But Daryl and his crew were not ones to back down from a challenge. They had faced countless dangers and overcome insurmountable odds on their journey, and this was just another hurdle they had to conquer. As fear threatened to overwhelm them, Daryl gathered his comrades close and whispered a plan. Nara the healer quickly assessed the situation and began preparing her potions and spells. She knew that the Uni Dragon's fire-breathing capabilities would be their greatest threat, and she would need to be ready to tend to any burns or injuries that would surely come. Kai, the nerdy inventor, rummaged through his bag of gadgets and pulled out a contraption that he had been working on for months. It was a specialized shield designed to withstand the intense heat of the Uni Dragon's flames. With a determined glint in his eyes, he handed the shield to Jackson, who had the strength and agility to wield it effectively. Alara, the archer, notched an arrow and took careful aim at the Uni Dragon's vulnerable eye. She knew that a well-placed shot could blind the beast and give them an advantage. With a silent prayer, she let the arrow fly, hoping it would find its mark. Meanwhile, Daryl took a deep breath and steeled himself for the battle ahead. He knew that their only chance of victory was to strike with precision and unity. With a rallying cry, he led his companions into battle, their weapons at the ready. The clash was fierce and intense. The Unidragon unleashed waves of fire, but Jackson's shield held strong, protecting the group from its deadly flames. Nara's healing magic ensured that they could withstand the dragon's attacks, while Alara's arrows found their mark, blinding the creature's eye. Daryl, fueled by a burning determination, fought with all his might. He dodged the Uni Dragon's claws and countered with swift, calculated strikes. With each blow, he could feel the scales of oppression shattering under his relentless assault. As the battle raged on, the Uni Dragon's roars grew weaker, its strength waning. It had underestimated the resilience and tenacity of Daryl and his crew. With one final mighty blow, Daryl struck the beast's heart, ending its reign of terror. As the Unidragon fell to the ground, lifeless, Daryl and his crew stood victorious. Their triumph over this legendary creature would resonate far and wide, inspiring others to join their cause and fight against the Dome regime. But they knew that this was just one battle in the greater war for freedom. The corrupted overseers still held power, and their fight was far from over. With renewed determination, Daryl and his companions vowed to continue their mission, knowing that each victory brought them one step closer to dismantling the Dome regime and restoring justice to their world. And so, with the Uni Dragon's defeat behind them, Daryl and his crew pressed on, their hearts filled with hope and their spirits unwavering. They would face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that together they were unstoppable. Charlie, one of the fighters for good, says, "Once we get through all this crap and can ever get through the Dome, I am gonna kick that evil leader's ass." Daryl laughs and also concerned looking. "Why would you kick the evil leader's donkey? It never did anything to you." "You know what I mean, Daryl." Daryl stayed calm for that moment. Alara noticed Daryl all of a sudden get a smirk on his face. He looked at Alara and said, "Shh." He then slowly snuck up behind Charlie and kicked him in the butt and ran. It was hilarious. After a slight scuffle, they got back to the plan at hand. Back to the battle for freedom. They refused to give up. They knew that the fate of their world depended on their success, and they were determined to see their mission through to the end. The quest for freedom was far from over, but Daryl and his companions were confident that they would ultimately prevail. They had the support of the people, the strength of their convictions, and the unwavering belief in a better future. And so they pressed on, their spirits unbroken, their resolve unwavering, their determination to liberate their world from the clutches of oppression burning ever brighter within their hearts. Well, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's update to the series. There will be much more to come in the near future as their journey continues. Please stay tuned for Chapter 12 of Punishment Under the Dome.